Hey guys, I'm Anthony, and today we have the Panasonic Lumix G97 with us. And today I'm gonna just go over the overviews of this camera. Whether you're a traveler, vlogger, or just an hobbyist, this camera might be the right tool for you to take you forward in your creative journey as a photographer and a videographer. This camera is not for someone who's upgrading from earlier systems. There are way better Micro Four Thirds systems. This camera is only for someone who wants to buy it brand new. So according to me personally, here are a few things that makes this camera an awesome tool in your creative arsenal. So first thing is the sensor. This has a Micro Four Thirds sensor, which is a 20.3 megapixel sensor. This sensor was earlier seen in a few flagship Lumix models. So it's not one of the latest sensors available in the market, but this really holds up well against the newer models. The second thing is live view compositing in bracketing. I kind of personally am a big fan of this feature because it stitches together the images within the camera, saving you time in your post-production. The third and my favorite feature is a 5-axis image stabilization. So walk, run, trip over your cat, your footage will look very smooth with the 5-axis image stabilization. Another best part about this is the flip-out screen that this camera comes with. So this is really useful for loggers. The fifth feature is this is lightweight. It can fit in the palm of my hand. It's very portable and it's weather sealed. When you're doing street photography or if you're traveling, climbing mountains or hiking for a long time, every gram that a camera carries matters. The sixth feature I love about this camera is how budget friendly and portable the lenses are. This is a 42.5 mm lens, which is sort of equivalent to a 85 to 90 mm lens on a full frame. And the seventh feature that I really like about this camera is a 3.5 mm microphone input that they have offered with this camera. To this, you can connect a shotgun microphone, mount it on top of the camera while you're logging, or even the best way, you can get a portable, lightweight wireless lav and connect it to this camera because bad audio is always a deal breaker. This is a very solid camera, but no camera is perfect. This camera also has some drawbacks and some quirks. So let's step into it. And the first and foremost quirk is the autofocus. This has a contrast detect autofocus, a DFT, instead of a face detect autofocus. So someone who is upgrading from a phone will come to a camera expecting it to have really good autofocus. So this having the DFT autofocus, it can struggle in continuous, it obviously struggles in continuous autofocus situations, especially in low light and fast moving targets. It cannot hold focus on. One of the biggest drawbacks of this. The Micro Four Thirds sensor has more noise in low light situations. This sensor especially does not have dual native ISO, so you can't really boost ISO and get a noiseless image, which the competitors in market are going for. Not ideal for professional low light photography, I would say. So if you're someone who does a lot of low light photography like astrophotography, underwater low light photography, or someone who does wildlife and nocturnal photography, I would definitely suggest there are better options in the market. One of the biggest cons is the 4K 30 FPS has a crop. So it has, I think, about 1.35x crop. If you are someone who vlogs with this camera, who buys this camera for its beautiful colors and image stabilization, I would suggest you invest in an 8 to 18 mm lens because this has great image stabilization. Along with the 8 to 18 lens, you can shoot in 4K 30 FPS if you're logging. That gives a really wide angle footage. But if you're having something like a 12-35 lens or 12 to 60 lens, I would definitely suggest look elsewhere if you want to record 4K. Let's talk about the competition in the market for this camera and how does it stack up against everything. I'm not sponsored by any of these brands, so Lumix, Sony, Canon, Nikon, no one. All these opinions are my own, but at the same time, I do not have any of these other cameras with me, but I've used those cameras over the years. I'll just give my opinion on them, and you as a buyer who potentially are looking for them, you can go try them out and decide which one you want the best. Some of the competitions in the market are, first thing is the Canon R10. So this is a crop sensor camera, but you get the Canon colors. It has got no crop factor. The dual pixel autofocus is pretty decent and executed very well. And Canon also has an array of great lenses. Also, there is, if you're looking at a used market, there is Canon RP, which is again a full frame camera. It also has great low light capabilities. It's really great with its autofocus. The serious contender for this camera are the Sony A6700 and the Sony ZV-E10 II. All right, those two are the kings of autofocus in this segment, in this budget segment, and they are amazingly well in low light situations. But they're also kind of on the pricier side. The lenses from Sony for E-mounts are also on the pricier side. Again, you have to think about it, give serious thought about buying this camera, check them all out, and then decide. This camera is compact, it's reliable, and it's ready for action any time of the day. You can have it in a backpack, take it out, turn it on, start snapping away, and you will create some beautiful images with this. But why would I personally pick the Lumix G97 over all this camera is first and foremost is the stabilization. So as I told earlier, it is one of the USPs of this camera is the image stabilization. None of the cameras in this segment have this good of an image stabilization. They can boast up to 5 axis, 7 axis, 10 axis, 12 axis or a million axis stabilization, but nothing comes close handled as Lumix when it comes to image stabilization. So that is my first thing. Second thing is the color science. When you are shooting on a natural profile, I want to quickly get it, download it on my Lumix Lab app and just share it with the world. Along with the Lumix Lab app, what I can do is I can have inbuilt LUTs or create my own LUTs. Who should buy the G97? Who I see using this camera sort of ideally? First thing are beginner photographers. People who want to upgrade from their mobile phones and learn photography without drowning in the menus. This camera has like really great menu system, very well organized. There is separate menu for photography, for videography. It will not be overbearing like certain other brands. This camera is for vloggers because of the stabilization, handheld inbuilt stabilization. There's this one feature that I love about this camera. So if you're holding the camera horizontally and recording yourself, you will be recording in 1920 by 1080. All right. But if you switch the camera and want to record it vertically, the video resolution switches automatically inside the camera without you having to do it separately in post-production. Third type of people I see using this camera are budget creators. So solid feature set without wrecking your wallet. If you're a micro influencer, you have built up a following on Instagram, and if you want to upgrade from your phone to a camera, this is one of the great cameras you can have. Finally, if you are a traveler, if you are a nomad, throw it in your backpack, forget it's there, travel. If it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's windy, if it's sandy, if you're on the beaches, you don't have to worry about what will happen to your camera because it is weather sealed. It's really well packed. It does not overheat. You can do continuous recording as long as the battery dies or the card fills up. This is one of those amazing cameras. It also comes with an inbuilt flash. All right, that's my take. If this was helpful, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and do let me know in the comment section what type of videos you like. So if you finally bought this camera, share some of your work with me. I would definitely like to check it out. Until next time, happiness be with you and stay creative. Bye-bye.